So my girlfriend recently shared a video to her Instagram that just had the two of us in it, and immediately a ton of replies came in that were like, that guy is clearly gay. And then a bunch of people replied to those replies saying, hey, don't say that, he could be bi. And nobody dared to even suggest a third possibility. I love how you can tell which phrases were invented by men. Like, there's that old saying that goes, having sex is like eating pizza. Even if it's bad, it's still pretty good. Yeah, that's only if you're a man. If you're a woman, having sex is like watching somebody else eat pizza. Even if it is good, you're still probably gonna have to feed yourself later. Man, I am so sick of unnecessary sex scenes. Like, my wife keeps trying to have sex with me, and it's just like, slow your roll, sweetie. How would that further the plot? How would that move the story forward? When the pandemic hit, like quarantine started, I moved in with my girlfriend who was already living with her sister, so it was just me and them for the whole year. And something I found out pretty immediately that they love to do, they do it all the time, it's their favorite thing, they love to joke about killing all men. They love it. I mentioned that to a buddy of mine though, and he goes, oh, you know what you should do? When they joke about killing men, you should just joke about killing women. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. Women joke about killing men, it sounds like a joke. Men joke about killing women, it sounds like a plan. Like, girls will joke around like, what if we got rid of guys? And then guys joke around like, what if we got rid of Susan in apartment 21B? Tonight. I always pay extra attention on first dates whenever they give an opinion on something. Because you know that the first date opinion is only about 10% of the actual opinion. Like, if on the first date somebody says they sometimes like to watch a little anime, that means they fucking love anime. If you get laid that night, it will be in a room with Dragon Ball Z wallpaper. If on the first date somebody says they're open to the idea of one day having a kid, their son Tyson is waiting in the minivan. If you're on a very first date with somebody and they casually mention that they think Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger is a little underrated, look closer. You're on a date with Ben Roethlisberger. So Airbnb has fallen on hard times, which is kind of crazy to think about because when Airbnb first burst onto the scene, it really felt like it was here to stay. I mean, not to get sentimental, but there was a time that whenever I would picture my future, I would always picture myself sitting in a rented Airbnb, wearing a $3,500 Apple Vision Pro headset and strolling through a bustling metaverse. But Airbnb has since plunged into a downward spiral, the Apple Vision Pro massively flopped, and the metaverse has been quietly buried. So now when I picture my future, I'm what? Sitting in my house, spending quality time with my real family in the real world? It's scary stuff. But what sets Airbnb apart from like the slew of other so-called disruptors that were introduced into the marketplace promising to change everything before inevitably flaming out is that for a time, Airbnb did change everything. Like, it actually worked. It literally turned the entire travel industry on its head. And unlike a lot of these other kind of tech flops, Airbnb was a service that like real people actually used all the time. Not to say that real people aren't using the metaverse. In fact, if you're watching this video from the metaverse, just hang in there. I'm sure the rest of us will totally be along shortly. But knowing how successful Airbnb was at first, it kind of begs the question, what happened? What went wrong? Can it be fixed? And probably the most important question, do we even want to fix it? Unpopular opinion, Airbnb has become terrible. The early days of Airbnb, like the early days of the internet, were full of promise. Here was a way for travelers to see the world while meeting hosts and enjoying authentic experiences all on a shoestring. Was meeting hosts ever part of the sell? I thought the whole sell was like you'd get to stay in somebody else's cool house or cool apartment. I didn't know the idea was they'd still be there. Were hosts really just like, book my Airbnb, it has great natural light, a great location, and me. I'll be there. I'll always be there, waiting for you. do. Please. I'm so lonely. Yet this promise, like the promise of the internet itself, has been corrupted by greed, lack of competition, and poor product management. Yes, Airbnb is to travel what Facebook is to the internet. In a word, terrible. Okay, it feels like this guy kind of has a separate beef going on with Facebook. He's like, Airbnb is just like Facebook. Nobody likes the things I do on there. It's like, yeah, man, I'm pretty sure that's a you problem. But the thing about this unpopular opinion is it's not even really that unpopular, and actually, at this point, it's not even really an opinion. Airbnb posts biggest decline in a year on weak travel outlook. Projected increase in nights booked is slowest since 2020. Wow, I wonder what was going on in 2020 that prevented people from booking Airbnbs. Personally, me and my buddies were constantly booking Airbnbs in 2020. I mean, we were booking left and right until everyone else in that particular friend group died of some sickness. I don't really remember the details. I don't understand why anyone would rent an apartment. Living in a house is the way to go. Well, I think it's because living in a house is kind of unaffordable. But that's the thing. If you do it right, it's totally free. Free? Yeah, like I've been living in this big house in the suburbs for the last 6 months, and not only do I not have to pay rent, but I also get to eat all the food I can carry out of the fridge, and to top it all off, the family still doesn't even know I'm living there. Wait, what? People say it's hard to live in a house in this economy, but this economy is actually perfect for it on account of mortgage rates being so high and money being so tight that the homeowners are too stressed out to even notice all the signs that you're curled up under their floorboards. Okay, setting everything else aside, between the trespassing and the breaking and entering, I'm pretty sure that's like a dozen different felonies. Oh, you've got to get out of that renter's mindset. Man, I just wish people would understand that they could save so much money if they just moved out of their cramped, overpriced studio apartments into a spacious multi-family homes crawl space. Why would you want to live in a fucking crawl space? Well, aside from the savings, the amenities are top notch. Like I have my very own mattress made from taped together wall insulation. When the parents go to work, I get to sneak into their bedroom and smell their clothes. You know how in Disney movies the mice will like sing and help the princess get dressed? Yeah? Well, my mice don't do that, but they do crawl into my mouth while I'm sleeping. Okay, wouldn't the family be a little upset to discover a strange man living between their walls? Oh, you've got to deal with neighbors wherever you live. Like you've got to worry about the people one apartment over making a noise complaint if they hear you throwing a party, and I've got to worry about the people one wall over screaming at the top of their lungs if they catch me crawling out of the attic to empty my urine bucket. Enough, man. I'm just gonna save up my money like a responsible adult and buy a house of $1 million. On second thought, is there room in your crawl space? Every time we're out in public and we see a couple with a big age gap, my fiance gets all judgmental and goes, ugh, what could they possibly even have in common? And it's just like, I don't know, off the top of my head, maybe the fact that they're both not invited to family dinners anymore, and the fact that they both had to turn off comments on Instagram. So right there, that's two things. So I feel like AI is the first new technology where whenever someone tries to tell you what it can do, it always just sounds like a threat. Like when the iPod came out, people were like, hey, you can put all of your songs on this thing. Or when like the iPhone came out, people were like, hey, you can put all these apps on this thing. But with AI, people are just like, you're gonna lose your fucking job. Yeah, that's right. AI is gonna take your fucking job. It's gonna make you totally obsolete, and AI is going to marry your granddaughter. And by the way, that last one, it wasn't just like a random example I made up to be funny. That was like a real thing Gary Vee said.
Your grandkids will marry an AI human.
And what's your conviction level on that?
100%.
That they're going to marry an
That
AI?
your grandchild is going to marry an AI human.
Also, neither here nor there, but remember when Gary Vee was like all in on NFTs a few years back? Whatever happened to that? It's like, hey Gary, how is my granddaughter gonna marry an AI when she's already married to an NFT? Does she divorce the NFT for the AI? Like, how does that work? AI is making sitcoms now.
You have a name yet?
Yes?
Steve.
Oh, that's a lovely name.
Thanks, but what do you think we should call the baby?
I hate how proud AI Steve is after nailing his punchline. Did you see that?
Thanks, but what do you think we should call the baby?
He's like, thanks, but what should we call the baby?
It's just sad. Nothing's made in the U.S. anymore.
Oh.
Even this one says built-in antenna.
So?
I don't even know where that is.
Damn, crazy how even the couples in AI sitcoms are still all ugly man with extremely hot wife. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Any last words? I wouldn't be shocked if that didn't work.
Okay, I get how the whole thing is like AI is making little snippets of sitcoms, but like, what sitcom would have a scene where a character is being strapped into an electric chair? That seems a little heavy for like a primetime CBS laugh track. Then again, the AI was probably inspired by that one episode of Friends. You know, the one where Chandler gives his number to that girl at the bus stop, and then it turns out that that girl is married to the chief of police, so Chandler is sentenced to death.